Good afternoon, I'm Esther Araoyinbo and you're watching MediaPlex Live at 1. Schools across Ontario are closed today. Teachers and education workers are on strike, affecting nearly 5,000 schools. The strike affects 72 school boards across the province and is in the protest of the cuts they say that are being made by the Ford government. This strike was announced February 12 and comes after a tentative agreement could not be reached between union and the government. The four unions have been without a contract since August and have been at the bargaining table since. Topics the two sides continue to disagree on are class size, e-learning, and pay. Teachers and support staff across the province are still waiting to negotiate contracts with the Ontario government. Garrett Fodor tells us more.
With negotiations ongoing, teachers and educational support staff across Ontario will be lining sidewalks like these on Friday. It is the first time since 1997 the Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation, the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario, the Ontario English Catholics Teachers Association, and the Association d'Anglais et d'Anciens Franco-Ontariens have taken job action. A one-day walkout by nearly 200,000 teachers is estimated to affect 2 million students across 72 school boards. Fran Van Gent is an educational support worker for the OSSTF. She says she believes the action is for the students.
And we're hoping that maybe Mr. Ford and Mr. Leshy will finally listen and understand. It's not about money. This is not about money. The cuts that they are making to the services, the cuts that they are making to these children is completely unfair.
While students are missing classes, Van Gent says the support from the public has been great. Included in that is kindergarten student Finley Miller. Miller was featured in a video her mom posted on social media begging for teachers to stay in the classroom.
I really want her to stay because then the standings won't know what to do.
And here's her mom, Carly.
I asked Finley a couple questions and said, Finley, do you know if, do you know that it's possible that your kindergarten teacher might not be here next year? And she said, what? No. So then I asked her a few questions and it just worked out that she ended up saying some pretty good stuff.
As the strike continues, Windsoraites are encouraged to check publicboard.ca for the latest updates or Ontario Families for Public Education for announcements. For MediaPlex News, I'm Garrett Fodor.
Rogers Hometown Hockey comes to LaSalle's Vorma Complex this weekend, starting at noon both Saturday and Sunday. The weekend event concludes with the LaSalle Vipers closing out the regular season Sunday night. Host Ron McLean and Tara Sloan will be live at the Vorma Complex on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. with accounts that commend the hockey history and culture of LaSalle. Ron McLean shared his thoughts with the MediaPlex.
What I've found and Tara has found is that there was great buy-in by athletes, whether it was Canadian Women's Hockey League players or the National Hockey League stars. Like as an example, this weekend, Luke Wilson, the Super Bowl winner with the Seattle Seahawks and a tight end in the NFL from LaSalle, he's writing and voicing the opening for our show. Kylie Moss, who's a two-time world champion 100-meter backstroke swimmer and bronze medalist at Rio, she's coming on the telecast. And Chris Draper and Kirk Maltby, you mentioned, two of the former Red Wings are going to be on the show, two members of the Grind Line, so that's great. We'll have a song by the Tea Party. Jeff Burrows still lives in Windsor, a member of that iconic rock band. So, yeah, there's in terms of growth, I think we've just kind of carved our niche. That's to me, it's similar, and not that we're stopping the presses everywhere we go, but where we began like a musician playing in a coffee house and hopefully graduating to a larger venue, we've kind of built an army of friends and viewers who enjoy learning about the country and sort of celebrating the game.
With spring quickly approaching, people are anxious to see flowers bloom. However, there's considerable work that needs to be done to protect indigenous plants and wildlife from one particular invasive species. Tala Stein has the story.
As winter melts away, a new concern grows in Windsor-Essex, Phragmites australis. Also known as the common reed, Phragmites is an invasive species of plant that has been in the area for decades. Thriving in wetlands and ditches, the Phragmites has spread throughout Windsor-Essex, growing up to 3 meters in height.
Although it was originally introduced as a dormant plant, Phragmites will take over areas like this once they are no longer dormant in the spring.
IRCA Director of Communications Danielle Stubing highlighted the dangers of what the invasive species is capable of.
One of the worst parts about Phragmites is its roots under the ground actually let out something known as rhizomes, and that's like a poison that kills off all the native plant species that should be there.
The main method of fighting the plant is using herbicides on focused applications and removing the roots when possible. The Kingsville Town Council recently announced a collaboration with the University of Windsor to combat and further study the effects of Phragmites. Kingsville Drainage Superintendent Ken Vey claims that they have been making progress with pushing back the invasive species, but it still affects agriculture in the county by impeding drainage from fields.
It slows the water down, and when water slows down, the sediment within the water drops out, causing soil buildup in the drain and causing slower surface water runoff.
The best way for residents of Windsor Essex to combat the invasive species is to remove the roots or mow the stalks to impede growth. Time will tell how mighty the Phragmites can be. For MediaPlex News, I'm Tyler Stein.
The Windsor community took part in International Mother Language Day this morning with a flag-raising ceremony held at Charles Clark Square. Liam Adams has the story.
February 21st marks a global celebration of linguistic and cultural diversity. Windsor is an example of retaining and increasing a wide array of different languages. Approximately 24% of its population speaks a language other than English or French as their native tongue. International Mother Language Day has been observed since 1999. That's when the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization General Conference declared this day through a resolution. Jas Dayal, president of the Bangladesh University of Windsor Student Association, said the event meant a great deal to international students residing in the community.
We have a monument here, and we are going to do the flag raising also. And this is going to be a great opportunity for all the new students here of Bangladesh and all the other countries to celebrate this day, to feel a bit like home.
The formation of this day originated from Bangladesh, which celebrates February 21st in honor of the Bengali language movement of 1952. The movement was defined by student protests. They were advocating for the recognition of the Bengali language as an official language of former East Bengal. Another University of Windsor student, Sheikh Sadaf, said it wasn't an easy fight for students of the day.
In order to do that, we formed procession, and however the police over there in 1952 opened fire, and a lot of students died that day in order to protect the rights of our language. So as you can say, I'm getting emotional right now. This day means a lot to us.
Windsor will now fly the Bengali flag across from City Hall. For MediaPlex News, I'm Liam Adams.
The Ford government is now taking steps to review their new Blue Ontario license plates. This comes as a response to floods of social media reports from law enforcement officers and concerned citizens citing problems with visibility at night. The government announced it is working with the manufacturer of the license plates to fix the problem. Earlier this week, Mothers Against Drunk Driving brought their concerns to the government.
Started to hear from the public and police that the visibility of the new plates was questionable at night. And, you know, our program to report suspected impaired drivers is very dependent on the public being able to read the plates, especially at night.
Tim Hortons' annual Roll Up the Rim is going green. Since it began in 1986, the contest has encouraged customers to consume and throw out millions of disposable cups for a chance to win prizes. Following criticism from environmental groups, Tim Hortons is moving the contest online. People can now play at rolluptherim2win.com or through the Tim Hortons app. Tim Hortons will also be giving away 1.8 million free reusable cups before the contest launch. Those who use a reusable cup will have even better odds of winning. This year, Roll Up the Rim runs from March 11 to April 7. Now turning to weather. Today will be sunny with a high of 2. The sunshine will continue tomorrow with a high of 5 degrees. Sunday will jump to 8 degrees with a mix of sun and clouds. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Esther Araoyinbo, and you've been watching MediaPlex live at 1.
MediaPlex News Now is a production of the St. Clair College Journalism Program.